All right, good morning. Welcome to another episode of uh, this great and interesting um, platform. So, we this morning we are going to be talking about the soil, and basically, before we look at what the soil is as it relates to you as a person, individual in an organization, we talk about the full concept of um, why people are unfulfilled. Why are they having unfulfilled longing in the workplace? Okay, that is the cross of our message this morning. And so, to talk about this, we start from the beginning. So many of us suffer from unfulfilled desire, unfulfilled passion, unfulfilled hunger, our longing in the workplace. Not because the workplace itself has a problem, even if it does, but because we ourselves, we have failed to understand who we really are. You are the soil. All right, so you are the soil. And when we look at the soil in this context determines the progression, the existence, the livelihood, the success or otherwise of whatever that comes upon it. So, and there are factors that we look at in relating to all these issues. So, and as a soil in your workplace, it means that whatever that comes upon you, which is the plant, your work and your job, your business, your academics, your family, your religion, everything that you are looking at as being something that comes upon you, they are the plants. So when we look at you as the soil, which of course is the focus of this first edition, we first of all ask the question: how have you evolved or developed into a soil that can thrive in season and out of season? How have you evolved into a soil that can determine the success or otherwise of the plant that is placed upon you? Okay, so and that is why if you look at the concept of fulfillment, so many people will continue to be unfulfilled. Hence, it is not the financial benefit, neither is it the other paraphernalia that comes with your office that gives you fulfillment. So fulfillment starts from you understanding who you really are as the soil. So, and in talking about the soil in this context now, literally, the soil determines a lot of things around the plant. For us to, the good book will say that in the parable of the seed, that there are seed that fell on different grounds. These are all different kind of soil, so to say. The good book says some fell on stony ground, some fell on a fertile ground. Now, when the wind came, it took the seed away. As long as the seed was not on the fertile ground, the seed could not produce, could not even develop, not to even produce fruits. So what it means is that for you as the soil of your workplace, for you to be fulfilled, you need to understand what you are made up of, or your makeup. Number one, what is the content of the soil? Number two, what facilitates the soil? What makes the soil to become what it is in terms of providing the required nutrients for the plants? It is what you have that you will give out. So if you don't have it, you can't give it out. So the component of the soil, we start with that before we move to others. I believe when we were taught agricultural science in our basic school, we learned that the soil has several components. Okay, and in relation to that, you see when you come back, you see that even as you have about 5 components as the soil of your workplace. Number one, you have the willpower. you have the creative power. Apart from the will and the creative power, you have the mental power, which is your mental ability. Now, this power in their different aspects play a major role in determining if the plant will succeed. Whatever that comes to you as the plant, as the soil, whatever that comes upon you can either die or live only if your willpower to ensure that such a thing lives is strong enough to make it live. What about activity? Whatever we are given, we merely regurgitate. You just say, okay, fine, because I'm here to do my job. I'm here to just do something and have my or earn my pay. What becomes of you? The creative ability is killed, or you are killing it by having a mentality of believing that the only thing you have to do is just to earn your income at the end of the month. But if you have a creative power and you bring your creative power to bear in everything you do, it means that you can be given an empty slate. You will rewrite that slate into a trophy. You can be given a lemon, like is often said, and you will create a lemonade from it. So that means that whatever that is placed upon you, whether it's bitter, you can make a bitter juice that becomes healthy to everybody from it. But to others, it seems to be useless. So you can see how you as a soil determines what happens in your workspace. Now, imagine if you are a businessman. I believe I'm also listening right now. Some of us, we are into academics. Some of us, we are business owners. Some of us, we are employees and what have you. And if you are a businessman, what it means invariably is that you have to start thinking creatively of how you can do that same thing that is being done generally in a different way. And so, now as the soil, you have the creative ability deposit in you. And believe me, the fact that you have the creative ability does not necessarily mean that you are going to what? Be creative. So, creativity or creative power does not translate to results simply because you have the deposit. You must be able to push the creative ability to work before you can have results. Hence, every man is at a state of rest until a certain force is applied. Everything is at a state of rest. Every potential is at a state of rest until a force is applied. And the force you require from this episode that we are sharing with you is the force of creativity. How do you change the dynamics? How do you change the stratum? How do you change the position of the plant that is upon you? Fulfillment can be gotten, or you can secure, or you can have fulfillment in your job, on your workplace or workspace, as the case is, and you are unfulfilled in marriage. You see, and that again will affect your workspace. You can see that is another plant, but on the same soil. Because you as a soil means that a lot of things are on top of you. Your job is there. Your family is there if you are married. Your business, everything that's related to your relationship is there. We have some of us who have deficiency in relationship or in relating to people. That again affects our fulfillment. So you will not be fulfilled, or you will not enjoy fulfillment in your workplace because if only your attention is focused on earning an income at the end of the month. Hence, as an individual who has seen himself as a soil, must necessarily do what? Rethink the plan, rethink the agenda, rethink the potential, and then think of how you can change the status quo and change the narratives of your life to start having productive results, and then it makes you what? Efficient. That being said, we go over to same talking about the content. We talk about the mental power. The mental power. Okay? Now, you can be creative and you don't have the mental strength to change what is around you. Please listen. A certain Chinese proverb said, "Man does not die, that he kills himself." In the same vein, the soil does not die, but it kills himself. What it means invariably is that as a businessman, as an academician, as an employee, you cannot go unfulfilled simply because your boss is unfulfilled, simply because your seemingly relatively so your institution or your business is unfulfilled. The highest determinant of fulfillment in any of your environment is you as the soil. So what am I saying? Your mentality has to change from being just seeing yourself as a factor to seeing yourself as a determining factor, from seeing yourself as an element to seeing yourself as the decider of the fate of what goes on. So what it means is that if you see yourself as the person that changes everything, you become a demigod. You become that kind of God that the Holy Book calls us, that ye are gods. Now, you see, the land, like we know it, the land is the most essential factor of production. You see now, so when we bring it down, it means that you are the most important element in the workspace. If you are a teacher and you are listening to me, for example, you are just a teacher as it is. But believe you me, you are not just a teacher. You are a major factor in determining the destiny of the children before you. You think what you're doing right now or what you're doing right there only affects a few children. No, because the children that are before you, for each of them, generations are tied to them. They are in their loins. So what it means is that for every deposit of seed you put in them, you are doing what? You are leaving a lifelong mark in their generation yet unborn. That being said, imagine you are a businessman or an employee in any organization for that matter. For you to understand the mental will or mental power, how it works, you have to change your orientation from being naive, from being relatively little, from being backward to a position of forward and upward. One, to a position that sees you as the controller, as the decider, as the determinant of the well-being of your organization. So even if funds have not been committed into your hands, you must develop the character to carry the organization when the need arises. The question I want to put before you is this. So many of us we desire and we crave for promotion. I'm putting it before you as the soil of that organization. Have you or are you ready for the position you crave, for the position you earnestly desire? Do you have the character to keep the position? Or you just assume that when I get there, the position will make me? No, position do not make people. People make the position. Office do not make a man. It is the man that makes the office. That is why the office itself of a president or of a senator, when the man is there, it becomes relevant. What it means invariably is that office only gives you the status that you require, but it is you that determines what happens in that office. That is why a certain governor can be in an office and he will do several things. Another governor will come and he cannot even do one that the other person has done. It's the same office, but what is the difference? Different soil. So the soil that you are determines the produce you will get. The kind of soil that you are determine the produce of your plants. The kind of soil that you are determine the kind of results that your plant will produce. So for some plants, if you move them from a certain soil and move them from another soil, they become more productive. Why? Because the land that they were before, the soil where they were before was deficient. I ask you a question. Are you a deficient employee? Are you a deficient staff? Are you a deficient businessman? Is your attention in just the results? Are you thinking the process or you're just thinking the end results?
A certain writer, political philosopher, once said that the end justifies the means. Even if what he's trying to say is that whatever you arrive at will tell you how you get there. It is to an extent very correct, but to an extent also wrong. Because most times the means also will justify your end. What it means is that your soil invariably determines the kind of soil you are, determines what results you will produce. So I want to believe that focusing on just the soil in this first section has been able to open your eyes up to see that the soil becomes very, very vital to whatever aspect of your life. As you being the soil is key to whatever achievement you will get. And irrespective of the end results, because you have dig deep and you understand your positioning, you will derive fulfillment from little successes, invariably so, little successes that comes to you. So even if your result is implicitma, as the case is part-time, the good book said, though thy beginning is small, he said that later end should greatly increase. So you must take note of the little beginnings, but develop a character that the character of a soil that is efficient, that is productive, that is thoughtful, that is creative, that has a mental strength, that has a creative ability. And then you will start seeing that gradually things start taking different shape. The plant upon your life, upon your soil, upon you as a soil, will start looking different. Like I told you, the plant can be your marriage, can be your business, can be your job, can be your career, can be your relationship. So for them to bring fulfillment to you, you must position yourself as a soil that is effective, that is efficient, and your contents must be what? Must be well tailored towards productive venture. And I believe with this, you have more and greater fulfillment in whatever you venture to do. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for being part of this episode, and thank you for joining us on this platform. I believe it's been a rewarding journey so far, and if you have been coming along with us, and you have been, you know, being carried along from the information we are giving out to you, you will discover that we are not here just to get viewership. We are not here just to increase subscribers. They are very important. But the most important thing is this: what the information would do for you is what is going to give us the level of satisfaction. So this project, this information we are giving out, it is not just for you to just hear them, see them, read them, but it's for you to inculcate it so that your life can be transformed to the level you want it to be. Now, for what my partner talked about the soil being the human. Now, what is a soil? You want to understand what a soil is. Many times we trample upon soil, but you know one thing is this: man is made from soil, and in soil, man is going back. So you must understand that. That is why, no matter how arrogant you are, no matter how much you think you can acquire things, if the man is not made of stuff that can outlive him, he has only lived a wasted life. Now, the Holy Book says that a man felt he has accomplished so many things, and he said, "Oh, my soul, enjoy." But one thing he forgot is that the making of a man, the making of a soil, is not about what the soil has. Because what the component of the soil, the man felt that, oh, what he has acquired is his personality. And the Creator said, sorry, you are coming home tonight. What a foolish way to end his life. Now, the soil. The soil. The soil. What kind of soil are you? Remember, from the position of the agricultural context, we have different types of soil. Let me bring something to your remembrance. You have the loamy soil, which is the one that we use for planting, the one that has a lot of nutrients in it. You have the clay soil. You have the sandy soil, and many more that you can remember. But let me narrow it down to these three. Now, what kind of soil are you? What type of soil are you? Remember, all these soils, they have vitality. They have what they can do. The loamy soil is a soil that is the best for planting. It has all the nutrients needed for the planting. Now, if remember that it makes mention of what do you allow upon your own soil. Now, what you allow upon your own soil determine whether the value that your soil carry will be retained or will be lost. Now, the Holy Book says, it said, when man sleep, the enemy came to sow tares among the wheat. Now, what is a tares? The tares is what in the agricultural terms is what we know as weed. Now, when you plant a good seed, definitely naturally there is going to be what? Weed. Now, what do you do when you have some certain things that are growing in the soil of your life and you don't like them? What you need to do? Eliminate them. So every soil has its own vitality. So eliminate them, because when you don't eliminate them, now I want to refer to those weeds as what? Characters. Bad characters. Character that cannot sustain the soil. Character that are parasitic in nature. Character that will devalue the soil. Character that will cause the soil to be drained of the nutrient. Characters that will make the soil to be what? To become useless. What do you allow on your soil? Now, what the soil is made up of, the substance of the soil, the nutrient of the soil, the value of the soil will determine how the things that will be placed on. Now, if your marriage is placed upon your soil, how would the marriage thrive? If your career is placed upon your soil, how would your career thrive? If your business is placed upon the soil, how would your business thrive? Now, everybody focuses on finances. But you know one thing is this. Finances will only thrive with the soil that carries value. Now, your marriage can only become successful if your soil carries value. Now, I talked about the tares, as the Holy Book has said, which we refer to as weeds. How do I eliminate weeds? You must now understand what type of soil I am. And on every type of soil, there are certain things that are meant to be allowed, and there are certain things that are not meant to be allowed. A weed will not add value to you, it will only take away from you. Because why? They are parasitic in nature. But when you plant good seed upon your soil, when you allow good things to come upon you, number one, they thrive. Number two, it takes you to that level where that soil can remain refreshed all the days of its existence. Beloved, this is just the first episode that we are trying to crave for you. Now, it is not left for you to think deep. The Holy Book will say, Sailor, think about this. To begin to brainstorm what kind of soil I have. Begin to do an x-ray of your life. That, oh, here, look at it. What are the things? Begin to look at your life infinito. Begin to look at your life painstakingly. Put your life to the point that, narrow down your life to the point like an atom. Something that you begin to put together. Begin to divide your life and ask, how have I been thriving? Take your life back in a decade back, 2 decades back, depending on years, and begin to think how you can rebuild that life, that soil, to begin to generate for you proceeds that will create a lifetime fulfillment. Thank you for being part of this. See you again next time.